Hey everybody, welcome to Echo Base. This is our new show we are calling War Room. And what I wanted to try to do is create something that I can interact with you guys and we can talk and analyze different aspects of the game that I want you guys to drive our content as far as what you guys want to see and talk about. So what I'll be looking to for a lot of it is kind of what chat has to say, and then over the course of the weeks, what Patreon members have to say and what content they want to see. We were discussing some of these games when they were being played live. This is the Carson Ray versus Mike Doyle game, which is the top 8 from Gen Con 2019 that Gold Squadron was streaming. And Blair and I were kind of just talking about some of these games while they were happening, and we were like, hey, we should actually just talk about this game turn by turn and talk about it from the different perspectives. And since Blair is a very, very good swarm-ish type player or generic type player, this list was right up his alley. So I brought Blair on. The Grand Admiral himself, Captain Salt, is here. Why don't you say hi, Blair?
How's it going, y'all?
Let's see if I can fix my Discord camera really quick. I noticed it's there we go. Now it should be back. All right, good. Okay, so I just wanted to, I cut all the dial times for everybody, so we're going to kind of go through this game at a normal pace, but I wanted to have periods where we can pause and break down and talk about analysis and some of the discussions. So this is, I think, turn 2. Where is your perspective on this so far from the Swarm perspective, Blair?
Well, this would have to be a start of turn 3, wouldn't it? Because the Hawks got 2 focus tokens on it.
Actually, you're right. Be start turn 3. Yep.
Okay. If it was me, I don't know what the Kyraxes did. If I had the option, I probably would have barrel rolled them left. I think that debris cloud is a little too close, and it's kind of obstructing my right turn towards whatever Jedi that is. That's got to be Anakin.
Yep.
On the bottom. I'd be worried about getting flanked from that side, and that debris is sort of saying, come flank me, because I can't turn into that. So had I had the option to barrel, I probably would have, and tried to get a little more space between myself and I. But other than that, looks pretty standard. Ace player is kind of hanging back, waiting to see what the Swarm player is going to do, and Swarm player's into it.
Because I kind of wondered from in a Swarm perspective, are you looking, when you look at this list and kind of how Carson's approaching it, are you looking for which is the target that I want to commit to, or are you looking for which target is Carson's commit? What is it that you're waiting for until you decide which direction you want to go?
Mm-hmm. So one thing that a lot of people I think don't understand about Swarm play is, as much as with Aces, you have to keep your options open. Because like I said, this is where Ace players can pounce on you. If you get to a spot where they know you can't do something, I know you're not going to turn right because you don't want to have to deal with that debris cloud, that's when I know I've got you in trouble. So for me, usually I'm just waiting for a ship to present itself in the best manner. And if I feel like I've got an opportunity to try to isolate that ship and get some good shots into it, I'll go for it. But if they hang back and I'm not really presented with an opportunity, I might split off my swarm if I feel like this is the turn when we're going to have some potential engagements. I might send, half my guys one direction, half another, just to cover my 2 alleyways. But even if I do that, I'll try to set them up in a position that I feel like they can reconverge if the Ace player if they don't commit, if they continue to run, then I'll try, even if I split off, I'll try to have them in a situation where I think I can get them to reconverge and get right back on and continue the chase. But that's a pretty general idea of what I'm going for at the start of games.
Okay. So the other thing too that someone had asked, and I'm kind of curious on what you think from a Swarm perspective, they'd ask about rock position, like what do we think is in general perspective from rocks. So like from an ace perspective, these are maybe a little bit tight because ideally you want them 1.5 bases to 2 bases. This looks like it's a little more than 1. And the reason I say that is because you want to be able to move a Jedi into those rocks and pretty easily be able to barrel roll if you need to. And right now I'm just like looking if Anakin were to like go in those rocks to the left a little bit, he would have a hard time. Like he would have to position it in advance. He wouldn't have the freedom to be like, oh yeah, for sure I can barrel roll. But from a swarm perspective, is that kind of what you want? Is you want those confined lanes?
For about the last 4 years, damn near every game I bring the smallest rocks I can. I bring Mustachio, the little one from the original core set that's like, it's sort of like a circle, but then like a chunk got taken out.
Yep.
It's kind of like 2 circles. It kind of looks like, and then the smallest debris, just because I feel like debris are typically less punishing for me. Like I don't mind if I land on them, and it's small enough that the difference is much different than the next biggest asteroid. Usually I just bring those and just corner them. And my plan is, I want the asteroids to have as little effect as possible. So just spread them out as far as I possibly can, get them to the corners, and try to create space for myself. That's basically what I do pretty much every damn game.
Okay. Yeah, and from a swarm perspective, like I get it. You don't want the rocks to come into play as much as possible. So that makes perfect sense. So I'm kind of thinking as the Carson player in this situation. So Anakin's kind of the tease, right? He's the old Soontir. Like I kind of want to flank with him, but I don't want to tell you I want to flank with him, but I might not flank with him. Like I'm gonna do the dangle, the bait, and see if I need to just bail out or if I can flank. And I think Carson, at least by this turn, is doing a good job of like leading, saying, "Hey, I'm gonna come into these rocks, but I still have the option to come out and flank if I can." I wish Obi was a little bit further away from Rick, just because he's fast enough that if he needs to catch up to a situation with Rick, he can. But overall, like I kind of like Carson's positions. I think he's setting himself up for a couple options, which we'll go into more later. So at this point in time, if you're setting your Kyrax dials, like what are your thoughts, Blair? Like, are you focused on Rick, or are you still tentative about Anakin coming in from the rear?
So, God, do Jedi's have a hard one?
Yeah, they have a white.
They do. They have a white hard one. Okay. So it looks like Anakin can pretty easily hard left 1, barrel left, boost right, and is going to be south of that big rock there on the bottom right.
Yep.
And have a pretty good alley to get in there next turn if the Kyraxes jump forward.
So you're talking about coming in here and then coming around. Yep, keep going.
Yep. I'm not a fan of like how the Kyraxes are in that diagonal. I usually I would have had like the back right one, I would have had him back up halfway on the right side of the middle one. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would have had his backside in the middle. So his back end would be on the right middle of the middle Kyrax. If that makes sense.
Yep.
It's like a 3/4 pinwheel. That's what I would have done, because now that front one is so far ahead. It's like basically it looks like about 2 movement, which is almost the whole entire range band in front of the back one, and Torkel is even further behind. Torkel is definitely a full range band behind that front one, so that's a lot of distance to that front one to get isolated. But where I hear at this point, I'd probably go 2 left bank, Seavor. And then, I'd probably just go with just a 2 forward on the rest, I think, and just stand pat there.
And then I'm assuming you'd bring Mux in kind of like here?
probably just a. I think.
Or just a 2-bank?
Well, again, the 2-bank, you're putting that debris on your right. That's a tough call. Because even a 1-bank, oh, that'd be really close. I might just 1-bank him. Because I think if you 1-bank, you've still got the 2 hard to turn into Anakin if you want it. So
Sure.
I'd probably just put him on a 1-bank, and then if I decide to go for Rick, I can go fast next turn.
Okay. So I'm hearing kind of like a partial commit to Rick, since he is the evident target. Like, typically Rick players want to go fast. I'm guessing. So are you thinking Carson's wanting to engage like this turn, or do you think he's going to want to hold back for one more turn? Like, are you thinking?
I think he's probably going to wait one more turn.
Okay.
I don't know if let's see, does the Starfighter have? It does have 1 forward. I would bet Carson's just going to be on a 1 forward with Rick.
Okay.
And probably a hard turn in with Obi.
Okay.
And then I would, if it was me, I would put a hard left 1 on Anakin, because I don't think all those. I'd be betting that those Kyraxes are not going to turn in. So I think I could safely 1 hard left, and then if he does turn in, I've still got some decent options to get out. But that's probably what I would be on, is a hard left 1.
Okay. No, yeah, I agree. I think with Anakin here, it's clear that the hard 1 is completely safe. If they decide to turn in, you can still bail relatively easily with the 1 turn. And if they don't, then you begin the flank. And I totally agree about Rick. I think there is no reason Rick wants to engage this turn, because if Rick engages this turn, he's taking multiple shots, and it's unlikely Obi-Wan's going to get a shot, and Anakin probably can't get a shot. Like, it's going to be really tough. So I agree. I think from my perspective, like, Rick should be dialing in a 1 forward and plan to do a barrel roll in either direction, more than likely to his right away, and then Obi does like a 1 bank and leaves himself options where he could 1 turn the next turn if the Kyraxes come in and just like get aggressive, or he can continue to kind of take the middle ground, because that's something with the 3-ship list is you want Obi there, but he only needs to be there when it's important, and Rick is okay by himself if he needs to be, and ideally you want to try to create a triple approach where you have 3 different vectors that you're coming from. And I notice a lot of players, especially with this list, will group Obi-Wan and Rick and kind of send them together. So I totally agree, and I'm gonna go ahead and just let it kind of start to play out so that you guys can start to see the movement and the decisions that were made. But I really agree.
The other thing about Rick, Kevin, is you do not want Seavor to ever get a shot on him ever.
No.
Yeah.
Or to ever shoot at him unless you have to, and you're in bullseye.
Yeah, exactly. See, Rick does not want any part of that.
Nope, I totally agree.
He's just gonna roll left, keep his options open. I am a fan of that. I'm interested to see what he does with Seavor. I wonder if he's just gonna intentionally bump him if he's if he'd just be fine with that. I like this move.
Yeah, the only risk that I see is if there is an engagement, you have no mods. But again, from your perspective, you're thinking, well, this isn't the turn we're going to engage, so it's probably not that big of a deal.
And even if Rick does do like a 3 forward and gets a pot shot, he's committed at that point. He's massively committed, and he's in a world. He's in a tough spot. Yep. He's basically got nowhere to go. So if you're Mike, you take your range 3 shot. That's fine. I'm gonna get you next turn, and then you're gonna be in trouble.
So Mike does the 2 bank. So this is what you were talking about, where the 1 bank. So Mike no longer has the option to turn right if Anakin comes around and not hit that debris. I mean, granted, he'll have 2 focus from the previous turn in Moldy Crow, but yes, you were right. Like, that 2 does take him a little bit too far. So now as the Anakin player, you kind of see that, and if you have the 1 turn dialed in, you know, like, okay, I now have the flank, and there's nothing he will probably do to stop me. So Carson doing Rick. So this was the kind of surprise that I saw when I saw this one. For multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Because now Rick, so the hardest part I found with the Naboos is the directional correction. Now Rick is facing the board edge and he doesn't have the freedom to turn left anymore. Like, had he just gone straight, he still has the ability to still turn left if he has to, or go forward. Where now, like, even if he doesn't boost, he still has to come left. Like, he does not have board real estate in front of him. So now he's kind of getting pinched in a corner.
Yeah.
And I think Carson's right now sitting here thinking, like, okay, do I barrel roll or do I boost? You know, what move do I take with Rick here? But that's the big thought that's in my head, because now I would assume as the Swarm player, you're like, oh, well, this is perfect. Like, Carson's going to be coming into this section. I know where he's going to go next turn with Rick. I think this is like a long decision for Carson. I can jump ahead a little bit if I need to. We'll give him a couple more seconds. Like, I know it looks like it's frozen because they're not moving, but you can see a little bit of shadow movement. Okay, yeah, and he tells him, all right, we're going to do the boost. So next turn is really scary because he can't do a 4 forward, I don't think, and still fit a boost. But this tells a lot of information to your opponent, I think, is the reason that I mentioned that it's really scary. So he does the 2 bank instead of the 1, which is fine. I mean, if he's going to go that fast with Rick, I can understand why you do the 2 bank. It's this next move from Obi-Wan that really scares me. This boost. If he had stayed there, I'm just going to pause it for a second. Had he stayed there, he would have had multiple options to continue to go straight. The next turn he could bank in, or he could also just continue to go down this path. Like, he had 3 options before, where now Obi-Wan really only has, like, bailout or proceed into the heart of this swarm. I mean, I get it. You're giving your opponent options, like Obi's either coming in here or he's bailing out here. So he's probably presenting okay, Rick's going to be here and Obi's going to be here. You're going to pick your target. But I feel like this was an unnecessary risk and the wrong time to present that decision, because in my opinion, this swarm is not committed to any target. And Rick is in a really bad spot. But Obi-Wan could also, like, he could still just leave green and Mux and point that towards Obi-Wan coming in and send the 2 Kiraxes and Seevor towards Rick and probably still accomplish something. But that's my opinion. I'm curious, like, what are your thoughts? Like, when you see that Obi move, I'm going to continue playing it, but what do you think when you see this Obi move come in?
I think Carson, I think he did that because I think he felt like the position that Rick is in, Mike is going for him.
Sure.
I think that's why he did that. And so he's giving himself an alley there to just get in there and try to lay in some offense, knowing that Rick is likely going to be the target.
Right. No, I agree. It makes sense given Rick's style.
He definitely could have hung back, but I think this puts him in a better position now, because if everyone sells out for Rick, wow, that's more shocking to me, to be honest.
What is the one
barrel rolling left?
Oh, really?
Barrel roll left with because again, I feel like you're more or less. I feel like it's pretty obvious at this point that Mike is gonna go for Rick. I think anything else would be a mistake. I felt like he would have barrel rolled right, and then boosted through those 2 rocks to set up a good move. Because now.
So I thought the barrel roll made a lot of sense, because he's trying to get the absolute flank with Anakin.
I feel like it would have made more sense if he had gone slow with Rick.
Correct. I do agree with that. I mean, he gets the nice pot shot for free on Mux from downtown. But yes, I think
Is that 2 hits?
I think it's 2 and 2, so it ends up doing he gets 3 hits, so he takes 1 shield off. So he gets a free shield off Mux. Like, that's a great start. But this is also concerning to me. Like, Rick with 1 mod is about to take 3 shots. Granted, they're all unmodified, but, like, that scares me. And wait, did he just shoot at Seevor?
I think that's his only shot.
Wouldn't you just forego shooting because you get jammed?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they must have forgot the jam, but like as the
Oh,
as the Rick player, like you just don't take that shot. I think they just forgot about it.
yeah. Damn.
So I think this is the 2 dice muck shot at Anakin from long range, and he spends a force. So yeah, I get it. So Carson went a little bit more aggressive. I feel like he should have gone slow this turn and just continued to do the pull, and he still had more outs for the following turn, and that was the big reasoning I really wanted to like touch on this turn. Not that it was a wrong decision, like I get why he did it. It was just more of a like you're putting yourself in a place where variance could come into play when you don't necessarily need to. All right, so then I wiped it to the next turn. So this is before Mike moves anything. So we just saw everything dice result. This is the exact next turn, so dials were just taken out. What is your thoughts here? I accidentally moved the Kirax with the K turn, but like, so assuming that yellow had not done the K turn, like, would that be what you would do, or what are you thinking on this turn for setting dials, Blair?
I'm not crazy about that K turn. I think Seavor, you've got to probably put him on probably a 3 bank, I would say. That'll block your 3 and your 4 forward.
Sure.
Then it becomes a question of, I would have probably then gone. God, that's tough call. So what's he got open to him with? So at that point, it's a game of 3 bank or 3 turn. 3 bank boost gets you to about 3 bank boost is probably gonna put you maybe a little bit north of where Seavor is right now.
You're talking about Rick?
Yeah, 3 left bank boost.
So yeah, I think a 3 bank puts him probably about right here. If that's what you're thinking. Like that's your target you're aiming at more or less when you're setting your dials.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need to cover that.
Yeah. Actually, I'd probably just 2 bank Seavor and know that, okay, I might not get the block on the 3 or the 4 forward, but at least he can't boost out.
Okay.
Which would be fine because I'm jamming him. I'm jamming offensive 8 anyway.
Sure.
So I'd probably 2 bank Seavor and then probably 2 hard. It's tough to tell on the video, but I'd probably 2 hard or 3 hard, whatever I felt gave me the better option to block. Oh, you cat. You're getting all tangled up in my cord here. Yeah, I'd probably 3 hard and then target lock Rick. Would probably be, does the Cracks even have a 3 hard? I don't even fly these things.
I think they have a 1
Only
and
has
a
a
2.
2 hard.
So you just 1 bank pink? Like I think do you just send yellow into block and then you bank pink in?
Well, I would want to block the 3 bank. Again, the 3 forward, if that clears, fine. You can't boost out, that's okay. But I want to block that 3 bank and not let you split between my Kyraxes and Seavor, because that would be bad news bears if that happens.
Sure.
So if I have to 2 bank and then roll, again, it's hard to see here. Ideally, if I think the 2 hard could block the 3 bank, I'd probably sit on that. Otherwise, I'd probably do a 2 bank into a roll left, and I think that would probably be good to block the 3 bank. From there, I'm probably... So then I got the 2 left in the back and Torkel. And Kyraxes don't have a 1 forward anymore either. Okay. So I've got the 3 bank blocked. I'd probably... I would probably just 1 bank the middle guy and then roll him. I'd probably 2 bank him and then roll him right and block the 3 hard with that.
Okay.
And then just 1 bank or 2 bank in Torkel at that point. I've got everything blocked. He's not getting out of any of that. It's unfortunate Torko's down to 4, but I would have 2 focus to try to live. But I'm not crazy about that K turn. Like, I know that Rick is going that way, and you're going to have a pursuit next turn, but that doesn't have a shot on anything other than the 3 hard. And it doesn't look like it blocks the 3 hard either.
No, it doesn't.
And it's unmodded too, but nah. All right, go ahead and fast forward. Let's see what he comes out with the next.
All right.
2 forward. Okay.
Do we see the roll is the question, right? Or it also depends on what he's doing with Seabor. Oh, we just see a focus.
In that spot, I probably would have target locked.
Okay.
Torko's already been hurt. He's probably going to be 1 red bank. Wow.
So he's he's splitting it up a little bit, keeping Obi honest, I guess you could say.
I'm not crazy about that.
No, I think when you go in for someone like this on a 3-ship list with regen, you have to go all in as much as it might suck. I also would have liked to see Mux bank in a little bit and like create distance between him and Anakin and use that debris as a little bit of a cover. Like if he did like a 2 bank left or something.
Absolutely. Because now, Anakin has a great opportunity to just 3 forward, roll left, take a lock.
Yep. 3 turn. Wow. So this really surprised me. So he must have really thought that Rick was coming in with a 3 turn. Because I think this blocks the 3 turn. Or the
here's the thing. It's like, this would be fine to say, okay, if you run, because Seabor's got the 3 hard blocks. So if Rick turns in, he's getting blocked. He's not really doing a whole lot. Even if he gets a shot, which he might not even, it's unmodded. So that's fine. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with that is you block that and then sell out on Obi-Wan. I don't like the idea of, like, again, that 4K now, like, that's not going to have a shot on anyone. And granted, you're going to have, like, a good avenue of pursuit on Rick, but that Kyrax, I mean, he's going to waste a lot of time to shooting focus evaded Rick, and and the middle Kyrax as well. I mean, he's probably not going to have a shot on anyone. I mean, Obi's banking in.
For sure, yeah, I agree.
He gets a shot on Rick if he 3 hards, but I feel like the 3 hard was the least likely move for Rick to do. So I don't really understand selling out on that. And if you look, Kev, one thing about flying swarms is you want to try to spread those arcs out as much as you can. But you look at those 2 top Kyraxes, that's not a whole... Look at, like, the giant dead zones on their sides. There was, like, so much open space to hide in between those guys. That's, like, the exact opposite of what you want. And everyone else has fanned out okay, but I feel like that was a wasted opportunity with those. They're just not in a really good position to shoot anyone. I think if you're going to go for that block to deny Rick the hard turn, if you got hard turn, your block shooting unmodded. I would have banked in with the 2 front guys to sell out on Obi-Wan.
Okay. Yeah, and like, so as the ace player here, I would dial in a 3 forward with Rick because the 3 bank seems obvious. And I would want to leave my ability that if he's going to fully commit to the block and he's going to push everything over to shoot at Rick, he's literally facing and aiming at the board edge, which would free up Obi and Anakin. So like worst case scenario happens for Rick and bad stuff's about to happen. I have my 2 end game aces that are unthreatened. And then if they don't block you, you can do the 3 forward boost and now you're in a good position for following turns. So we'll go ahead and see what he does. I think, if I remember this turn correctly, if I were Obi, because of the droid, I'd dial in a 2 bank right now, because then I have the flexibility after seeing board state to change that down to a 1 or a 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then with Anakin, you just kind of go right in front of the debris and decide where you need to go after that and do your tricks.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and see what Carson ended up doing. Because I think he moves Rick first. Yeah, he comes all the way around the table to move Rick. So he does do the 3 bank. which gets blocked. But like you were talking, there's what, maybe one shot on Rick this turn?
Maybe the middle Kyrax has
Yeah.
a shot. Doesn't look like the top one. And again, that's why I would have target locked. Because
Sure.
at least I get a lock for next turn. And I don't think... Maybe that Kyrax gets shot, but he's going to K-turn and be out of there anyway.
Yep.
And he's only taken one shot from Obi-Wan, likely. I think Anakin's probably going to stay on Torkoal.
So while Obi's thinking here, in my opinion, the best move he can do is reduce that down to a 1 bank.
Yep.
And then rotate out and shoot at yellow. But he dialed in a straight maneuver, which is shocking to me, because you had so much flexibility with that bank.
Mm-hmm. Did
So-
he, I guess you don't know what move he did invariably dial in.
Yeah, it was probably a 3 or a 2.
Well,
Because he did a 3 forward.
I'm surprised.
This is what's shocking to me,
wow.
is that he's boosting in and saying that I'll just joust you, knowing he has 2
Okay,
3-dice
all
guns
right.
aimed at him.
So pause it.
Okay,
So obviously he didn't have a 4 forward dialed in, because that would have put
Right.
him on the rock.
correct, yeah.
So if I don't think it's a 2 forward, because why would you go faster? I feel like if you've got 2 arcs on you,
You'd slow
wouldn't
down.
you want to go slow and
Yeah.
make him take long range shots?
I think he dialed in a 3 and
Um,
he left it.
I think he dialed in a 3 and a left, and I think that was a mistake. I think he should have. And then the boosting is
Yes.
because you have a shot at Torkoal, and that's already the guy you've hurt.
I'm
For
guessing
life
it's
of me, I don't understand that.
I'm guessing it's because he wanted to line up CLT. And sometimes that can be the issue with CLT
Oh,
or Predator.
Yeah,
Is sometimes you
Yeah.
get sucked into that, like you want that extra
Mhm.
dice so badly that you maybe make sacrificial decisions just to get it.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because before he was sitting in a position where he's going to throw 2 dice. All right, fine. But he's also going to roll 4 dice on defense against probably both of those attacks. And at least one of those attacks. And statistically, that's where you would rather be. Had he done the bank that we talked about, he would have banked here with a 1 bank. He could have rolled and then just sat right here and had a bullseye or just a decent shot, basically unanswered at this
Yeah.
guy. And that's where that's the safe maneuver, at least from my perspective, because A, you're not going to take very many shots, and then B, you're in a really good position where he's kind of split up, and it's like, are they going to commit to Anakin or not? But yeah. So I'll go ahead and keep playing so we can see what Anakin does. So Anakin does the 2 forward, puts himself in front of the debris, and now gets to make decisions. Seems fine.
Seems like he just calibrated into a.
Yeah, he does the fine-tune barrel roll, and then I'm assuming... So when you're sitting at 1 force and you're taking a 2-dice attack, you probably target lock? Yeah, you target locked. Okay. So now Mux is checking for his ability, I think. All right, so this must... That was the Anakin shot, I think. No. That was... I can't tell who he PS0'd. I think he PS0'd Anakin. Maybe that was the Rick shot. I think that was the Rick shot. So then Obi... So, I mean, clearly your target's Mux here, right? Although at this point, I think...
That's why I don't get why you boost there.
Yeah, that's the other big question, too, is...
Because if your plan is to shoot Torkoal all the way, why wouldn't you just sit back?
Yeah. Whereas now it's like, well, you have CLT, I guess you could use it, but he's trying to focus fire, I get it. So they're re-rolling because it was out of the box, same result. And you've got 2 force left, you're taking 2 shots, so you technically have 3 focus tokens. Sure, go ahead and spend it. Makes sense. And I think he rolls 1 blank and 1 evade. Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. It looked to me like he just flipped 1 force and converted
So
both.
what he did was he spent the
Oh,
focus.
Does this CLT?
So CLT
Oh,
just
sorry.
adds a focus if they're in your bullseye. What he did was he rolled 2 eyeballs because he
it
didn't.
works on himself.
Yeah, and then he spent his
Oh,
focus
okay.
and used the force so that he could get it back.
Gotcha.
Which is why I said he like has 3 focus tokens. So he's checking yellow first, and I think there's no shot. Yeah. And then Seavor had no shot, so he couldn't shoot. So now pink takes a range 2 at Rick. Seems good. The focus worked out this turn.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh! Bad news for Rick.
Oh, man.
Takes 2 shields and a
Goodness.
crit. I think Dion plays the animation of what crit it is, so we can see it, but I don't remember for sure.
Was that a direct hit? Must have been.
It must have been a direct hit, so he's at literally 1 health.
Damn.
So the Muck's range 2 shot at Obi. Yep, spends the force to dodge. And now this must be the last Kirax. Yep. I'm assuming this shot is also at Obi. Ben's focus loses the shield. Okay. I mean, Obi could have came out a lot worse on that exchange.
Yeah.
And now Anakin takes the range 2. Seems good.
Keep the lock. Always good.
Yep.
Double paint, though, so Torque only takes 1.
So Torko's getting whittled down slowly. All right, so we just did another turn. Okay. So that turn finished. Force was regained. Now let's figure out dials, or what you would do as the Swarm player now given this position, Blair.
Okay. Well, we pretty much know what Rick and Annie are doing. Rick is just going 5 forward, gonna regen. Annie's probably going 2 forward. I would think. So that one he's got his hand on, he's just got to be on a 4K. Can't imagine he'd be on anything else. Maybe the 2 right Talon roll. Hard to tell without being at the table.
Even if you were going to hit that debris, would you still do it?
I would not if I knew if
Okay.
I felt like there was even like a 25% chance of hitting it. I probably wouldn't, to be honest.
Okay.
Being double stress sucks, even with.
I agree. I was just curious.
Even with Kyrax. So I bet he's going to be on a 4K. So then, I think you can. The stressed Kyrax, I'm putting him on a 3 forward. 3
Okay.
forward focus. Next guy. So Obi's at 3. Okay.
Yep. Obi's at 3, Rick's at 1, Anakin's at 6.
I probably was just put Torkel into a. I'd probably just Talon roll left the last Kyrax,
The green
and then
one?
just put Torkel, the bottom one.
Yep.
Probably just Talon roll left him, and then probably just 2 hard left Torkel.
Okay.
And then I can just hard 1 Seavor.
Sure.
Seavor wouldn't have a shot on Rick, which is a little unfortunate, but it is almost guaranteed to have a shot on Obi-Wan, and that basically puts every single one of my arcs pointed towards the bottom left part of the board. I would feel pretty good about that. I'd feel a lot better than I did last turn. I feel like this is actually pretty easy.
Well, and if
Could be
worse
wrong,
came to
but-
worse, you could also, if you do the one turn with Seavor, if Anakin comes in and you you do the initiative trick on him, you could potentially use Seevor to strip the target lock off of Anakin.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. So you kind of use Seevor as your cover blanket for Mux because he's clearly being targeted. Okay.
But Mux would have to have arc though.
Yes.
Might have to rotate or Mux might even you know what? He could even 2 right here. That actually wouldn't be awful because you're out of focus. You don't want to let Annie. I actually think I'd do that, to be honest. I would 2 hard right Torkoal and effectively you're regenning, just take the focus. Got it for next turn.
Mm-hmm.
I even get a shot on Anakin. Might not hit him because it's going to be obstructed, but still, a 3-on-3 through the rock. You never know.
Well, I think the biggest thing, too, is if you do the 2-turn right with Mux right here, you actually deny Obi the ability to run away if he wanted to. Like, you would stop his one turn.
He can't hard left out of there.
Yep.
And you're not going to give Annie a shot. Yeah. I do that, and then basically just selling out everyone else for Rick and Obi, more or less. That would, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I think Rick does a 5 forward regens, which he should. Boy, I feel like you almost need to play shenanigans here with Obi-Wan and with R2D6 and almost just dial in like a 2-bank left. I actually think Obi-Wan needs to get the hell out of there because he has almost no force left, and there's a lot of ships that potentially could be facing him next turn.
Yeah.
I actually, as the Anakin player, would do a 1-turn right. And if Mux did come in, you have a perfect shot at him. And if he doesn't, you now kind of swap places with Obi-Wan, where you bring Obi-Wan on the retreat and you rotate Anakin in. That's kind of my thought process here. So we'll go ahead and play.
What are you doing with Obi-Wan then?
I think you do a 2-bank left, and then if you can, you up it to
left.
a 3, and you just retreat.
Okay, so the 2 Talon does fit. That's a nice move.
Yeah, if it fits like we talked about, yeah.
That's great arc coverage right there.
I'm kind of surprised that the Kirax did that. Oh, he does a Talon roll. Okay, I thought he was doing a 2-turn.
Okay, that's not bad. I still would have gone the 2 hard right with Torkoal.
No, I agree.
What's he got? 2 forward there? 3 forward?
2 forward, I think. Might be a 3. I know, I'm surprised he's rotating his arc. I almost feel like you just focus. Okay, never mind. He is focus. Oh, is it focus, rotate?
Rotate into focus, yeah.
Oh, jeez. I didn't even realize they could do it. Okay. So then that makes perfect sense. Although next turn, he's probably hitting that debris.
Probably. No. Be close. Oh.
There's the 3 forward. And I'm just checking chat as we're waiting for them to do their moves. If you guys have any more questions or you guys want stuff answered or thoughts, go ahead and just ask us and we'll go ahead and respond. So kind of what we talked about, you're getting the arc coverage pretty good and you're bringing Seevor in to cover Mux.
Yeah.
Someone's wondering if you have 5 or more ships, Blair, do you have a set number of turns before you have, or do you just do an improvised deployment? So like, if you have a set number of ships, like 5 or more, do you have a specific deployment setup that you usually like to practice or do you like to really kind of vary it up depending on the situation?
Really, for me, it's more of a case of, like, for example, the list I was telling you about, Kev, which is Pure Sabak, 2 Cynards with Dorsal, 2 Obsidians, and then a Barrage Bomber. Like, in that situation, typically I'm probably going to split Pure off and have him be kind of the aggressor to put pressure on my opponent. but again, that's going to be matchup predicated because if I'm out initiative, if I'm up against a legitimate ace, he's not going to do that. So then I'm going to hang everyone back. Honestly, I kind of do wing it to an extent as far as like my formations go.
Sure.
I've always believed like pinwheel and modified pinwheel is king, but I almost always end up like breaking that pinwheel off in some form or another before the first engagement occurs. But really, what is like way more valuable to me than like having like starting formations like in your head, to me your starting formation isn't more important. The bigger one is like understanding like what moves in that small block are gonna fit. Like if see where Palov or Torkoal is at, like say that Kyrax, see how they're like offset like that, Kevin. Like if the Kyrax is facing the same way Torkoal is, and they're in a pinwheel, like is a one left bank gonna clear that? If the Kyrax like does if the Kyrax does a one left bank, can Torkoal fit a two left turn? Things like that to me are way more valuable and have helped me a lot more, like practicing those moves and figuring those out and knowing them in my head than having a set formation at the start. The set formation at the start is more or less inconsequential in my opinion.
Okay. So here's a big one, and this is why I paused it. Carson dials in, I believe, a 5K.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of arcs on him.
Yeah, I'm going to pause for 1 second, and we're just going to count. We're going to color with numbers here. There is 1 arc, 2 arcs, 3 arcs, 4 arcs. And Obi-Wan literally only has a calculate because he has 1 force. And
that's 5 arcs on him. He's got Seavor too.
Yeah, if you want to count Seavor too, we'll count Seavor. I just wasn't 100% sure yet if Seavor has arc. And I'm sitting here thinking, wow, math says Obi-Wan dies regardless of if you had a focus token or not this turn. I was shocked when I saw him dial in that 5K, knowing he only had 1 force because, I mean, like, I've rolled enough green dice, and I'm sure you know this too, like, the variance is real, and it hurts real bad. The 2 forward I get from Anakin, I really liked the 1 turn. The 2 forward I get, though. But now it's funny because he's like, okay, well, Obi-Wan's kind of in a bad situation. I feel like I need to present Anakin as a, hey, shoot me target, just so that maybe he makes the wrong decision and he shoots at me instead of Obi-Wan. So I think, if I remember correctly, I believe Carson does boost here, which is the correct call given the board state, to try to create target confusion. But how he got himself into this position is what I wanted to make sure we talked about. What's also concerning is all the guns. Like, literally every gun could shoot at just one of those ships.
Yeah.
I mean, if he rolls, cool. The only one that doesn't shoot is the yellow one who could shoot Anakin, potentially. But I feel like he's made this decision knowing that they're not going to shoot Anakin.
Yeah. I don't think Mike even cares. Get as close as you want.
Yeah, probably not. Because he'll just initiative lower him and... I'm
just going to initiative lower you and kill Obi-Wan. I'll trade Torkoal for Obi-Wan. That's fine with me.
Yep. All right, so I'm pretty sure this is just Obi-Wan's shot, which I think was just 2 hits. And this is at Mux, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Mux takes another card. So now you get to make an interesting decision here. I feel like since there's no tokens, you do shoot Seavor at Anakin to strip that target lock and maybe try to save Mux. Because his shot's probably not going to hit Obi-Wan, right?
So it's 2 on 3?
Yeah.
Is that range? Hold on.
Oh, wait. I think Anakin has...
Is that range 3?
I think so. I think Anakin has bullseye, so never mind. I don't think he can jam him. So he shoots range 2 at Anakin. And I think it's at range 2 at either target. But I'm pretty sure he shot at Anakin with Seavor.
Hold on. All right, stop, Kev. this is like another huge mistake that like a lot of players like. This is why I love flying guys. They all have the same initiative value
Mm-hmm.
because you can look and see, like for example, like that back right, the Kirax on the far right. I would probably have him shoot last, because he's got a range one shot at Anakin. But there's a lot you should like consider here at the start, like before you take any shots. Obviously, Seabor is going first, but even there you've got some stuff to consider. But I mean, a 2-on-3 with I got to focus that can totally hit, Kevin.
It could, yeah.
I don't want to look at. I know it's likely, but also even if it doesn't hit, I also still have a chance to make him burn the Force, which I can live with too. And I think Palov is dead. I mean,
yeah, I don't think there's any.
Even if I jam the lock off, it's pretty damn unlikely. But yeah, he's got bullseye anyway. So at that point, once I see I got bullseye, I'm shooting Obi-Wan.
I agree. Once you see the bullseye,
that to me, that's a mistake. So so from there though, okay, who's my next shot gonna be? So Rick's down to 2. So I probably want to save the left Kyrax. He's only got Obi and Rick, so I'll save him for later because I might take if I kill Obi, I'll take the shot on Rick with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably start with the back guy, the back Kyrax, and have him fire first into Obi-Wan.
So you'd shoot Seavor and then Red, I'm assuming, or that back one. Okay.
Yep.
And then what's your other firing order then?
Well, depending on what happens, probably. So Torko's only got.
He's got one health.
If Obi's still up, I'd probably go Torkel next, and then I'd probably go. If he's still up after that, then I'd probably go the far left Kyrax next, actually. Because I don't like that shot into Rick. I'd rather just take the.
You save green for 5.
I'd save green. I'd rather just take, like, if I kill Obi-Wan, I'd rather have green just take the range 1 shot into Annie than have the guy on the left take the shot into focused evade, extra agility Rick.
Yep, I agree. So the first shot from Seavor, I believe, was at Anakin because he only rolled 2 evade dice. Just so you know, he did get 2, but he rolled 2 paint. So if we continue on, I don't remember who was shooting next. It was a range 1 shot. Is this green? Or was this yellow? Never mind. This was at Obi-Wan because he's rolling 4 dice. Okay, so I'm going to pause it again.
What the hell?
So I'm not sure how he rolled 4 dice, but it was a shot at Rick, which kind of surprises me, right? Like, don't you just unload on Obi-Wan here? Because now you've taken 2 shots on 2 different ships. You shot Seavor at Anakin, and you shot someone else at Rick.
I don't understand what just happened. Okay, he rolled 4 dice.
Oh wait,
so did
I know what
Rick.
it is. I know what it is. Dion goes back later on and fix it. They'll talk about it for a second. Dion goes back and is like, "Oh, you guys rolled too many dice for Rick." So they go back and they fix it in like a minute, I think. But still, the point to talk about though is you've split fire between 2 ships.
Oh, so hold on. So the Kyrax on the left shot Rick.
Yeah. He rolled 4
Christ.
dice and he shot at Rick, and Rick spent the evade token. I think the focus and the evade token. And Seavor shot at Anakin. I'm just going to let it keep going because I think they fix it pretty quickly. Plus the dice results are not really consequential for what we're trying to accomplish, but...
So that shot was into Anakin. That's... Who's this? Torkel into Anakin? Thinking about the focus?
Yeah, I think now they're fixing... If I turn on the audio, I'll know. Yeah, I'm just turning on the audio for a second because I'm pretty sure like now they talk about it and Dion helps fix the number of dice. Yeah, they're talking about the range of the
Oh,
shot.
Jesus.
Dion, our savior.
If I'm Mike, I'm saying, can I shoot someone else, please?
Yeah, I'd be like, when we roll this back, can I shoot at somebody else instead of Rick? Like, I get it. You want to get Rick. I understand that, but Rick is not a present threat, and Obi-Wan is about as vulnerable as you can possibly get. All right, yeah. Now they like roll it back, and I think he re-rolls the evade roll. I don't even remember.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna point out again. So Red is shooting at Anakin. No one's shooting at Obi-Wan. Like what?
Wow.
So Anakin takes a shield and goes, "Oh darn." And then this must be like the range 1 shot. Okay, so this is Anakin's range 1 onto Mux. And he spends the Force to guarantee that he dies. Sure. And I think I do a wipe in just a second, so I'll pause it once the next round starts before they flip dials.
Stop it right here, Kevin.
All right, 1 sec, because they're going to just flip Force and then I stop it. And there's the wipe. Okay, so that was that turn. So the result of that turn was Anakin lost 2 shields. Rick gained a shield, and Mux died. That was pretty much it.
Wow. I'm incredulous. So, first things first. Okay. Don't know why you shoot Anakin with C4 to start off. Can't for life of me understand. Maybe if he doesn't have bullseye. But if he's got it... So, that's number 1. Number 2. Why in God's name do you shoot Rick? Like...
I don't know.
The only thing I can like think is this is where like human error, like you probably experienced this playing Corrin, Kevin, is like someone gets him down to 1 and like they're like, man, I got him so close, I almost had him. Let's just try again this turn and we might get lucky and get him. But it's like I've already regen the shield, I'm full turtled.
Yep.
Are you sure you want to take that shot? Like, and Rick has no shot on anyone. So go ahead and live next turn. I don't care. Obi-Wan, he has shots. I have to look up what the odds are on this. So if I have 4 dice with a focus and a 3 dice with focus evade, I'm doing 0.6 damage, and I have to do 2 damage to kill him. I have a 10.5% chance to do that. If I have 4 dice with a focus into 3 dice with 1 force, I do 1.372 damage, and I have a 13% chance to kill him. So I actually have a better shot to kill Obi-Wan there than I do Rick, just on that one singular shot.
Yep.
Additionally, if I have 4 dice with a focus, there's a 50% chance I'm going to end up with a crit after mods, right, Kevin?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. So I'm almost guaranteed to do a damage into Obi-Wan there. I've got a 75% chance to hit him. So basically 75% chance, well, 50% chance to do a crit. So.
Yep, and you get half points that does not regenerate.
Well, he's already at half. On Obi-Wan.
No, Obi-Wan. Nope, you have to take 2 on Obi-Wan to get to half because he has 4 health. He just lost a shield.
Oh, he doesn't have the shield thing. Yeah. He's only at 4.
Yeah, he's not a Delta. He's a CLT.
But if I get a crit into him, that's like going to be even more devastating.
Oh yeah,
whereas
absolutely.
Rick is shields. So, and I have like all my shots are at Obi-Wan. Like you have to take the rest of my shots are like long range. Like Obi is closer to everyone else. The other thing is the focus evade, that goes away at the end of the turn. So even if I like completely whiff on Obi-Wan with all those shots, at least I make him spend the Force. Yeah. Whereas Rick doesn't give a rat's ass if you have to spend tokens, those are gone anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot. That is just like mind-boggling to me. I don't. Man.
That's how
I
I
would
felt.
really be interested to hear what his thought process was there, because I just don't see why you would ever do that.
Yep, no, I agree. So, given board state of where it is now, so what do you do now? So Rick's at 2
Okay.
health, Obi's at 3, Anakin's at 4.
All right. So Obi has to go forward, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That Kyrax probably can't avoid that debris on a bank. Doesn't look like it from this angle. So, man. So Rick's probably on a 3 hard.
Probably a 3 bank or a 3 hard. I would assume a 3 bank. I'm guessing he's going to try to regen 1 more shield before he re-enters combat.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's far right Kyrax, probably 2 forward.
Mm-hmm.
Far left Kyrax, probably 4 forward. Middle Kyrax, 3 forward. Seavor, 2 right bank. Seems pretty cut and dry to me.
Okay.
You're not getting any shots on any of my guys. Anakin might K-turn. I mean, I more or less just have to accept that he's going to shoot some guys. Thankfully, everyone's full, so definitely not going to kill a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to eat those, but just unload everyone into... What is it? Let me see the Aether Sprites dial. So
Sure. I can tell you.
So if Obi-Wan dials in a 2 bank and goes 3, that's still white, right? It doesn't like stay blue.
Yeah, it's still white, so he won't clear his stress. His 1 bank and his 2 bank are blue.
I mean, you could still sell out for Obi-Wan too if you wanted to. You could dial in a 1 bank on the Kyrax on the right. It might actually just bump into Anakin, and I don't get an action, but I'm unstressed. But
you have a shot on target.
I have a shot on target, and then I could 2 forward the middle guy,
block the banks in,
roll him left, block the 3 forward,
or that. Okay.
And then hard left 1 the far guy, and then 2 forward Seavor, and cast a pretty wide net there as well.
Sure.
But I feel, yeah, either way would be fine. It'd be the execution of it.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure, like, as the ace player, like, Rick should do a 3 bank and then token stack and regen 1 more time, so he's not at half points. Anakin, I feel like a 5K is automatic, and if you didn't see it coming, you don't know what the rock is cooking. I mean, Obi-Wan, I mean, I would dial in I, as the cautious player, would probably dial in a 3 bank or a 1 bank right. I'm sorry, a 3 forward or a 1 bank right. Actually, you know what? Since I have R2D6, I would dial in a 4 forward, and if the 3 forward is optimal, I'll take it. If it doesn't, I rip it up to a 5, and I just get as much distance as possible and know that I have technically 2 focus or like 2 calculates, and worst case scenario, I use those on defense.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happened.
I mean, I think a 2 left bank might even be decent, because that Kyrax can't go 1 forward. Okay, so he's going to sell out for Obi-Wan.
Yep.
That's fine. Let's see what he's able to concoct here.
Yeah, they're talking about Rick doing the loop around.
And you know, again, I'm full health. I'm only taking Annie's shot, who's only singular modded. I'm probably not taking a shot from Rick, but if I am, it's also unmodded. I'm target locking in that spot. With that guy, I'm target locking.
Yeah, yellow's not under threat. Yes, I would agree, because if Anakin has a shot, you know who he's shooting at. He's going to shoot at Seymour.
Yeah.
He's the priority target.
So self bumps there. It hurts because now.
No, he jumps over the top.
I mean the middle Kyrax.
Oh yeah,
bumps.
red. Yeah. So he does hit the debris.
See, again, this I just don't. I don't get, like, one ship shooting Rick unmodded, like, there's no way.
Yeah, he'll have the red shot, I guess, if he wants it, but I feel like
But
Rick
that's gonna
is...
be long range.
Yeah, Rick is a trap here.
Also unmodded. You see, we're probably just 2 forward bumps.
I also wonder why not just do a one turn with Seavor and guard against the 5K.
Yeah, that would have been a crafty move if you're successful.
Yep, so here's the 3 bank. I'm assuming he's regenning. I didn't see if he put a token down yet. Did he not regen? I mean, to me, this isn't complicated. Just take the focus evade and whatever. Don't think about it too much, Carson. There you go. This next move, Obi-Wan's move, shocked me almost as much as the 5K the previous turn.
On the side of the board is Rick, the one on the bottom?
Yeah. He's the Naboo.
No, I mean on like Carson's side, his cards there.
Oh, I can't tell now that he's there.
There's charges and there's no. I think that is him. Oh, wow, one left bank.
That's what I said as well. I was like, what?
So huh?
So he clears
Can you see
stress.
his dial?
Who's
Because
out?
I mean, I feel like if you're getting one bank, okay, you're just gonna dial in 2 bank, right?
Yep, because you could always drop it down. He
And
might
then
have
I
just
think
forgot.
once you see that, it looked to me like a 3 bank would have cleared.
It might have. I mean, a 3 forward I think would have cleared, and then you just you drop the 4 that I mentioned to a 3, and then you have your full action again. You can do whatever the hell you want. So you can do a fine-tune boost, take a target lock, and you can regen a little bit of force and come back again.
Yeah.
Whereas
he might have been able to block the 3 forward. Like, it's hard to know in that moment.
Right, and that's why I said, yeah, dial in the 4 and just you can change it.
Mm-hmm.
Worst case scenario. So Carson does the 5K, which is the correct maneuver here. Like, it's the best thing that Anakin could do by a long shot. But the big concern I have is, like, Obi-Wan's going to take a range 1 shot from somebody, whether it's Seavor or if it's that Kirax. Like, there's no way you're going to kill both Seavor and the Kirax.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like you're really opening yourself up to a lot of variance.
And think if he'd one banked the other guy too instead of taking the fruitless pursuit out against Rick.
Yep. So he uses Anakin's ability and spends his last force that he has, and then he takes target lock on Seavor.
Okay.
So range 1 on a naked Seavor. Off to a good start. Gets to 4. So
Ooh.
Mike literally has to roll 2 evades or Seavor is one-shotted. And he only rolls 1. So Seavor gets one-shotted.
Damn.
So now Obi shoots. Anakin is the Aether Sprite at the top. It looks like, yes, I think Rick is on the bottom for the cards on Carson's side. And Carson
it looks
does...
like he didn't regen then.
No, he didn't regen, which was surprising to me. I think he just
man.
forgot. So Carson gets lucky and rolls 1 hit and does a damage. The correct decision, though, not spending the force, saving it for defense, because you're going to get shot at range 1.
No, he did regen. He just threw the weapons disabled out there.
Oh, okay. So he did regen. All right. Whew. So 2. I see 1 evade and then spends the focus. Yep. Spends both tokens. And then this must be, yeah, this is the range 1 shot on Obi-Wan.
Ooh,
Aha! The variance. So Obi takes a hit and a crit.
Oh.
And it's a direct hit. So Obi is dead. So
Wow. The dice giveth, the dice taketh away.
So I just want to point this out. I'm going to wait for everything to wrap up because he flips the force in a second, and then I wipe to the next round. But there we go, and the wipe. All right, so I want to point that out. So Obi-Wan, doing the 1 bank, traded 1 damage for 3 hull and died. I get what he's trying to do, but it was a super unnecessary risk. If you're trying to bail Rick out there, it's not worth it, is the best way I would put it. You're better off letting Rick take the possible heat. He's got technically 4 health with the evade token and then his health. He's already given half. If he gives half, whatever. But taking the risk with the 5k and then banking in like that, I get it. You're trying to get shots on target. But that trade that you effectively made as the Republic player cost you way more points than it gained, and it removed one of your guns off the board. And these are the types of decisions, in my opinion, that people are really needing to think twice about when they're playing these Jedi. Because I see a lot of these trades, and Chris said it really well when he was talking to me this weekend. Jedi should never, ever, ever, ever trade. Ever. But, okay. So here's board state here. What are you thinking as the Kirax player, we'll call it now, since the 3 are the only ones that are left?
Well, God, I still just don't understand the, like, I'm gonna shoot Rick with one of my guys
from 2 turns ago.
From 2 turns in a row. And now I've I'm stressed. Man, I think I would go all out on Rick. I think I would hard left 1 the stressed Kyrax, and I think that would actually block the 3 hard left. I think it would.
Okay.
It looks like from this angle it would. So then from there, I'm just gonna 2 forward the top Kyrax and 2 hard right the other one and take my shots.
Okay. I think. Yeah.
I don't like the idea of like I could K-turn the 1 guy and take a shot into Annie, but I don't like the idea of starting to split my guys up. I would rather keep them all on Rick and keep him on the run. And even through a focus evade, I feel like with 3 dice shots I can start to put some damage through. Sure. And if it's gonna take Anakin likely 2 turns to kill one of my cartels, I feel like I can probably get Rick in that turn, and then I've got 2 full health Marauders to take on 4 health Annie, and I think I can do that. Then again, Annie is worth more, so if it goes, they got 20 minutes left, man. So Annie's at 1 force left, huh?
Yep, he's at 1 right now.
See, the thing is, the bottom guy can't shoot him, so I would just live with the fact that I would rather get every gun on Rick than to split fire. And at least this way I can get 2 actions, whereas if I go for Annie, I'm getting no mods. So that's what I would do. I'd have 2 range 2 shots with focus and a range 1 shot unmodded. I think I'd sell out for Rick.
Okay. Yeah, I think as the Anakin player here, you probably just do like a one bank, and be cautious. And as Rick, I know you really are tempted to do the 3-turn and get him involved, but I think as the cautious Rick player, if you can 3-bank, you do the 3-bank here, and you just let him pull all the fire so Anakin doesn't get shot at. So let's see what he does. So he does the 1-turn that you mentioned, blocking the 3-turn from Rick. This is you're not gonna like this, Blair. He does a 4.
Okay.
I figured you wouldn't like that because he's splitting his fire again.
He's splitting his fire, but it's not the worst, really.
Okay.
He's gonna get a shot on Annie. He's got 2 shots into Rick. Oh man.
This is the thing with Rick. Like, I understand you want to get him back in the fight, but like we were talking about before the episode, I found so frequently Rick is out of the fight because you try to get turned around, and if you're too aggressive like this, you'll get blocked a lot because people will see the 3 turns coming. So now this is really dangerous because Rick has no tokens and 3 health left. I think Anakin does the 1-bank. Yeah, I like the 1-bank here.
Yeah, this isn't the worst though for Mike, because the Smith Kyrax on 1 left bank, and he'll be able to keep pressure on Anakin.
Yeah, he gets to 4.
That's gonna hurt. Didn't need to spend the force either.
Yeah, so he takes 3, which sucks.
Shielded crit.
The other thing that damage engine, I don't think he's ever gonna turn anyway. So.
Did he just put? He just put. Oh, that was on the wounded guy.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so this is the range 3 shot obstructed at yellow. Dodges it, easy. So now I think we have a range 1 onto Rick, or is it range 2? Looks like range 2. Rolls 3 hits. And Rick rolls 2 evades, so he only takes 1 damage. Imagine if you had a follow-up shot.
Yep. Would have had him.
Instead of range 2 on Anakin. Two's not bad.
Oh, double crit.
Rolls 1, takes 1, so now Anakin's at half. That's important. And now the next turn. All right. So, Blair, what do you do now? Anakin's at 1 force. He's at half. Rick is at 2 health. No regen for Rick left.
That damage engine actually does kind of hurt, because I would have been on a 1 hard left.
Yep.
I get a shot on his bailout, and I block the 3 hard in. So that actually does kind of suck.
Oh, no, it does. Absolutely.
And especially, I also went a hard left with the stress guy. I don't know that I do, though. I think I would just take the bank, target lock, and probably save it. Probably save the lock, whether I get a shot or not. If Rick's fully tokened and I'm only taking the 1 shot, I'd probably save it. Yeah, Annie's probably just on a 1 left bank. So I think I just 1 left bank the 2 bottom guys, kill my Kyrax, and then just 1 left bank the other Kyrax there, and the one on the far right, and probably take a target lock on Anakin.
Okay. I'm assuming Rick is on a 5 forward this turn.
Yeah.
And Anakin, let's see. Fakirax has a 1 bank left. He clears stress. Anakin could be on a 1 turn left.
He could.
Or a 1 bank is my guess. So does the 1 turn... Or was that a 1 bank?
See, again, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I had to pause on. Oh, he's gonna stress himself. Well, he's dead anyway, so.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I just don't understand taking the focus there, because, like, the guy that's almost dead is getting shot. Take a lock and save it.
Yeah, because you're not going to get shot, is what you're saying? Because if
You're not
Anakin
getting
shoots
shot.
at anyone, he's going to shoot at red.
He's gonna shoot at the guy that's almost dead.
Yep. This is another one that perplexed the hell out of me. Carson does a 3 turn with Rick again. And I'm sitting here going, like, you're kidding me, right? Like, I get it. You want to get Rick in, but at the same time, it's just not worth it. Just get him out of there. I mean, it feels bad having a ship that basically runs around, but I mean, I spent many games, and maybe this is why I'm conditioned. I spent many games where Corrin would, like, never shoot the entire game, and Miranda would just win the game for me. So I got used to...
Sunterfell players played that game back in the day. It's just run with Sunter and let Quiz and the shuttle do their thing. Wow, that is, That's really shocking to me.
It is, especially after you got bailed out by Dice last round. Like, do you really want to risk this again?
Well, yeah, because, like, my 3 hard was blocked last round. And, I mean, you know that 1 Kyrax is 1 left banking. Yeah, really, really surprising.
I'm not really sure what he's thinking about here.
It's probably...
Because he can't do anything until he moves anyway. He doesn't have supernatural reflexes. 3 forward, huh?
Wow.
Okay.
I guess I was wrong. I guess that guy is getting shot.
So I know Anakin does not regen here. I think that's what he was... Okay, that's what he was thinking about. Should he regen or not? Don't spend it, don't spend it, don't spend it. Okay. So range 1 on that Kirax does 2. Which is not half, I think. Rick with Predator, range 1. Nope, still 2. I'm assuming he eats both damage because he wants that focus. Yep.
Yeah, I would eat them both. Yep.
The right decision, for sure. So range 1, 4 dice on Rick's 3 naked. Gets to 3.
There you go.
And kablamo.
Well. Wow.
All right, we're about to have a wipe. All right. I'm going to pause it. Okay, so here's the next turn. It's just Anakin. You're now up 154 to 104. Anakin's at half points. And you have 3 Kiraxes that are 2 health or above. And that middle one's stressed. What do you do, Blair?
Wow. So he's got to kill a full Kyrax. Even now, he's got to kill the wounded one and another one.
Yeah, or
right? Or he's got to half all of them.
Well, he could regen, remember? Because if he regens, he gets like 40
Can't regen. Points.
Anakin still has 2 charges.
Okay.
Rick didn't have any left.
I'm K-turn the bottom guy. Pretty obvious. Other guy, probably just going to 1 bank and focus. Shoot me if you want. And the other guy, probably just going to 2 hard. You know, I just one bank because if Anakin decides to go fast and three bank, he would dodge. He might dodge my one bank, but he won't dodge the middle guy's one right bank, and so he's taking two shots. So, top guy, yellow. I just one bank left, target lock. K turn the bottom guy, one right bank, focus the middle guy.
Middle guy. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. Yeah, this is a really tough spot for Anakin.
Yeah.
Because you have to shoot. Like you can't fully disengage here. So 4K, like you said. Yeah, one bank. So he clears that stress. This 2 forward was a little confusing for me.
I cannot fathom why.
Like, even if he does a barrel roll, it still seems weird. Why you wouldn't just...
That just makes no sense to me. What, you think he's going to run away, go right?
What scares me the most is a 2-turn. Because of that move, like Carson would never do a 2-turn because he assumes that yellow's going to be like doing a one bank. Or maybe Carson just foresaw the future and saw that that move was going to happen. Like, I'm going to pause it for a second because had yellow just done a bank, Anakin is looking at a range 1 modified shot that he cannot escape.
Yeah.
Whereas instead, now he's going to take a range 2 unmodified shot. Like, I'm assuming that yellow does not have arc, but I can't quite tell.
It's pretty close. That is... I don't get the 2 forward in the barrel roll when, yeah, the one bank is going to accomplish you more or less the same thing.
But better.
But better. Because you're turned farther more into where Anakin is going, and you get an action.
Yep. Yeah, and Anakin for sure just kills this Kirax.
Oh, goodness. Oh.
Yep, there's literally nothing you can do. So,
yep.
All right, pink dies. Super dies from the direct hit. And then you can only hope that yellow has a shot, but it's unmodified if he does. Oh, I think they end up getting a judge because that's really close.
Did he just move it?
I couldn't tell. I wasn't watching that close. I was watching Dion draw lines. Yeah, looks like no shot, so out of arc.
Oh, damn, that's brutal.
All right, so dodges it. And then we should have the next round. Wipe. Okay. So I'm going to write down what move I do with Anakin. You go ahead and tell me what you're doing with your Kiraxes.
Well, I'm probably going to two left talon roll the yellow. That one bank is really close. I don't know if it gets arc on the 5K or not.
So are you worried about the 5K or are you worried about a 5 forward?
Both.
Okay.
So Annie regens, he gets back up to he's ahead of me. So I think the smart play would be to run with the 5 forward. Because we got 4:45 left.
Yep, basically 1 to 2 turns.
And he's still got both regens.
Yeah, he still has both regens, and one of them will put him at like it'll drop Mike down to like 114-ish.
But he is stressed though, so
He is not stressed.
no, the Kyrax on the right.
Oh, green. Yes. Yep.
So I would probably one bank. I'd probably one bank and target lock actually.
Okay.
I would take the aggressive action, target lock. If you get a shot on me, I'm probably gonna get a shot back. But if you run, I've got the target lock stash for next turn. I can shoot with full mods on the final round.
Okay. And then you would do a talon roll with yellow?
Just a talon roll left with yellow.
Okay. So I'm going to move those guys, and then I'll show everybody what I wrote down, what I would do with Anakin. So the talon roll looks correct, or it looks like it's what he did. And there's the one bank he talked about. And then he's barrel rolling to block the 5.
Okay, that's fine. He's not gonna block it, but he's gonna have arc.
I'm going to pause it so I can show everybody what I wrote down. It's 2 turn left. Anakin should be doing a 2 turn left, and I'll tell you why. Yellow's not going to shoot you. He's assuming you're going to try to run on the 5. So just like Mike did, he's going to expect for you to run. If you turn left and barrel roll back and regen, you recover your points, no one shoots at you, and you now are free because yellow cannot pursue you the next turn when you do a 5 forward bank boost, and green has to deal with the debris cloud. So the best move Anakin can do is to go away and disengage and regen and not try to just run, which I get it, but is the obvious maneuver. So that's why I said that. I just felt like that seemed like the best move. And then when I watched this happen live, I was like, because I was writing down these same things. So instead he does a 3 bank right, which
Wow.
even if he didn't barrel roll, still blocks it. And I was like, huh?
That's a nice call by Mike.
Yeah, it's a good call by Mike. It was a bad dial choice by Carson. An unmodified shot, and he gets enough just to dodge it. So he does regen, which is great. Like, cool, now you're winning. So he's up 123 to 110. Oh, we're jumping to the next round. I forgot to pause it because it goes so fast. So he's 2 banking and pursuing Anakin. What is Anakin, or what do you do here? I'm assuming you just K turn green and 2 bank back here X that he's 2 banking.
No, I think I had 1 hard right green and then barrel right.
Okay. That makes sense.
But Mike hasn't taken a target lock
All game.
all game. Would you please take a lock one time with
Yes.
yellow? Please?
Yellow should be target locking right now, no matter what.
But you know he's running because he just 3 banked. He has no intention of fighting.
Yes.
Just take a lock for offense. But you gotta try to go quick here. If you're Mike, try to get.
Yeah, you have to. You need at least
too much time.
2 shots. So he's barrel rolling because he's worried that he's not going to get shots.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna get another round in.
No. And this, like, I think he's talon. I think he's talon rolling. Like,
Oh, okay.
if you can fit it, great. Otherwise, you don't take the risk. Just K-turn. The other issue, too, is this takes a lot of extra time.
Yeah.
Because you got to mark all these ships and stuff. I think he fits it.
Okay.
But it'd be a real shame if Anakin just happened to do a 1 turn right. A real shame.
I mean, even a 3-bank, you 3-bank boost.
Well, he'd
You're
still be
out of
taking...
that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the turn. Although I like the 1 turn, but 2's just fine. It'll get you where you need to be.
What did yellow do for an action?
He barrel rolled to
Oh,
the
that's right,
left.
that's right.
Yep.
Well, we got one more turn.
Yep, this is the last turn. I didn't bother to stop this turn because there's not a lot to discuss. Anakin doesn't have a lot of choices, and Mike is kind of out of options. Here's a little bit of an interesting decision, I guess. Like, he can't take 3 damage. He can take 2 damage. He can force it to range 3 and take a focus. And that's probably his best decision.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's, and this is a tough call, right? Because you know it's like the last turn time got called. The results of these dice rolls will be the game. But I would say in these situations, from Carson's perspective, the best choice that you can do is give yourself as many dice as possible, boost to range 3, and take that focus. Because he's got 2 unmodded shots coming at you. There's still a little bit of time left while he thinks. So he does the boost. And I believe takes the focus. Yep. So green first from range 3. 2. Average. Way above average. I'm pretty sure yellow is the same thing. 2. Yep. Odds are you do 1 damage. Or none. So that's game. So... thoughts, Blair?
Strange game. Yeah, I'd really be interested to hear the decision-making process Mike had behind so much switching fire. Just like the quintessential mistake to make an X-Wing is just split your fire like that. And I understand sometimes there are spots when, okay, I have a better shot on a guy who has more health. Maybe do take that, but I felt like in those situations that was not the case. And you know, I want to go back to the turn where Seavor and Obi-Wan both died.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice, one Kyrax bumped and Seavor bumped. Those things, like, we didn't talk about that, and
I'm loading it right now.
like, I would be interested, like, I wonder if, like, Dion, like, because these are, like, the things that, like, they don't seem like a big deal, but those actions, those can often mean the difference in a game, Kevin. Just like that one action that you got or didn't get. Right here, that Kyrax just narrowly bumps.
Oh, yeah, you're talking when he does the 2 forward.
Yeah.
It's right
and
here.
if Seavor had an action, he would have lived. This ended up, well, you could have taken it. You could have target locked Rick there to save it for later. You know, those little things in my opinion, make the difference. They do, and a lot of commentators. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but it totally is, in my opinion. Being able to get those actions, I think, is something that just no people don't make a big deal out of it. But I think it is. I think it's a bigger deal than a lot of people make it out to be. So
No, I think you're right. Yeah, I think absolutely. Let's fix your camera quick. There we go. I got it. I just had it on full screen. Yeah, target priority is a big thing. Great job, Carson. You won Gen Con. You played really well. But I do want to just talk about things like this where it's like, hey, yes, you did win the game, but let's look at the tape. Let's talk about the turn by turn what happened, and maybe when people make these decisions on approaches or when they're doing their target priority, they're more educated or better equipped to make good decisions. And because I think you're right. Like, yeah, that bump it sucked, but the turn before that didn't help Mike by spending all that time shooting at Rick. And had Obi-Wan, let's say Obi-Wan had died that turn before he does the one bank and bumps, well, you no longer really need to worry about Obi-Wan. Yeah. So now suddenly Anakin has to worry about.
Look how hard you could have sold out for Rick here if Obi-Wan wasn't on the board.
Yeah, like imagine.
Seymour can strip the evade, and then he got 4 shots into him. Like, yeah.
And Rick is heading towards that board edge in the corner where he does not have a lot of options because he needs to be doing 3s when he's being pursued. Because, you could 3 forward with pink, you could 2 turn, you could 3 forward with green, and you could 3 bank with Seymour, and suddenly Anakin doesn't have a range 1 focus or range 1 target lock shot on Seymour with no mods.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a big deal, and it's just these are the types of things I wanted to kind of talk about, and we'll keep doing as the show goes on. And I was really glad that you volunteered to talk about this game because I thought this, like, we were watching it live and we both agree, like, this is a good game to just discuss decisions that were made. Like, dice results are kind of inconsequential. It's the decisions that were made that are really important to talk about and try to understand and help people.
I don't think you answered anyone's questions the whole time.
No, I went through. I've had it, so it's tough is I have to do this on my phone because I'm streaming on a different thing.
I see.
Well, they had asked about the 5-ship setup. That was pretty much like the only real question anyone had. Oh, they asked about the 1 soft, and I was like, I think so. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions or anything, feel free to shoot them out. If there's any suggestions you guys want for the next topic, if you want me to go over a game specifically. Otherwise, there's been other suggestions like turn 0 or target priority analysis, or just like another idea I had was in-game scenarios that I have in my own personal games. Like I could take a picture and then we could pull it up here and we could talk about the decisions that were made and like what I was thinking and what you guys are thinking and maybe what the better decisions are, the mistakes that were made. And if you guys like having more guests come on like this, then I can, if Blair's willing to come on, I can certainly pull him on again, or I could pull other people on. So this was just a new format or a new idea that I wanted to try to start to do to help people and myself get better at the game. And I thought this was a cool way to do it. So
yeah, I gotta say, Kev, I think I love what you do here. I don't think a lot of people do dive. I think this is like way better if you want to get good at the game than just listen to a podcast. Not to disparage podcasts, but it's just there's only so much you can do when it's just audio. Where it's something like this and you can do a deep dive. I don't think there are enough channels that do this. And like you said, like a lot of people just like they just look at the results and ignore like the journey, like what happened to get there. Like every time someone wins a tourney, it's like they put them up on this like pedestal, but like there's so much that like goes into like winning a tourney.
Oh yeah,
and like this, you have to get lucky in spots to win a big event like this, and you have to have luck not only with dice but with matchups, and also luck and hoping your opponent makes mistakes. But I love doing this because you get to talk about what it took to get there, and I definitely think you guys probably got the best one out there. I'd have to say. So,
Awesome.
thanks for having me on, dude.
No, yeah, I'm glad that you volunteered, and you can come on whenever you want. If we find another good game like this, I'll definitely say, hey, why don't you swing on again? But yeah, if you guys like it, feel free to leave us some comments. Go ahead and follow and kind of support everything. We do have a Patreon that we talked about, and I'll be much more interactive with that as this show starts to take off. I think I'm going to use that as my drawing point to help encourage people to help support, because it is expensive to do all this stuff. And I appreciate you guys checking it out and joining us for tonight. So with that said, everyone have a good night, and I know we'll be back this next Sunday, I need to pull up my calendar, the 8th. We'll be back on Gold Squadron with another debriefing, and I will work on the next episode of War Room on the side. So have a good night. See ya.